Real talk, your butt goes through it. Chafing, itching, mystery rashes, a wild night, or just too many damn squats. That's where anything but comes in. It's like chapstick for your butthole, loaded with all organic aloe, vitamin E, arnica, and virgin hemp seed oil. All the things that say, shh, it's okay, baby, I got you. So give your butt the same energy that you give your face. Heal, soothe, and whether it's hemorrhoids or any other kind of butthole drama, keep that peach happy. Go to anythingbrands.com and use code DEAREVERYONE for a little something off because your butt deserves a little love too. All right, and welcome back to another episode of Dear Everyone. I'm here with a very special guest, the woman who harassed me to get a dog, as we heard in our last Kiki episode when I told you guys about my new pup fancy. But no, this is a powerhouse, and I'm so excited for everyone to learn and get the behind the scenes details on how to glow up with wigs. So whether you're suffering from hair loss or maybe you just want to spice things up a little bit, Tiffani is here to spill all the tea on all that and more. So welcome to the show, Tiff.
Thanks. I'm excited to be here. And also, I didn't make you buy anything. Actually, you didn't buy. It was for free. But it took one simple text message, and all y'all were like, okay, where, when?
I thought you were joking.
No, I wasn't joking.
No, you were
Jesse thought I was
very much
joking,
not
too.
joking.
Are you serious? I'm like, I'm serious.
100%.
All three y'all got them.
Yeah, and you were like, "Did you go yet? Did you go yet?" I'm like, "I'm there right now. There's 12 dogs at my ankles, biting my ankles right now."
And then y'all are scheming to hide it from your husbands.
100%.
All y'all.
And it did not work. They found out, unfortunately.
It's okay. They're all happy now, though.
They are. They're all dog dads now. So, for those of our listeners who don't know, how did you get started with wigs? Like, tell us everything.
So I guess this was when Sage, my third child, my last child, was born. I started having postpartum hair loss. So this was back in 2018 that she was born. I had postpartum hair loss, which I never experienced with any of the other kids before. And I was a salon owner. I was a hairdresser for a long time. I think at that point I was 13 years behind the chair. I had like I was just very happy behind the chair doing hair. I had good hair and stuff. And then my hair started falling out. And I was just very insecure with how it looked. And I'm very naturally, I'm not proud of it, but very self-conscious with your appearance, I guess because I'm in the beauty industry. And so I just wasn't happy with how my hair looked. I'm like, people aren't going to want to, like, new clients aren't going to want to come because her hair doesn't look good. I mean, I judge, if I'm going to a makeup artist, their makeup has to look good. If I'm going to a hairdresser, their hair has to look good. So I was just very self-conscious about that. So I started looking up wigs and hair toppers or hair pieces or whatever and started buying them and trying them. And the hairdresser in me always changed something about it. Like I would always add highlights or add lowlights or cut it or thin it out because it was never exactly what I wanted. And it still looked unnatural also, but I still wore it. But because, I had to hide my real hair. I just wasn't secure with it. So then I started studying it a little bit more and trying to figure out where I can like make it myself. I had no intention of selling it or anything. I just wanted to make a piece for myself so that it would look natural on me. And I did. And I didn't tell anyone about it because I didn't want anyone to know I was wearing wigs because wearing wigs is weird. Like it's a taboo thing. It's like people think costume wigs are like, why is she wearing a wig? She must have cancer or she's bald or whatever it is, people, they're going to think you're sick or something's wrong with you. Like wigs just has like a really bad stigma, you know? So I didn't want anyone to know. But I wore it every day. The only person who knew was my husband. My family didn't know. The girls I worked with every single day didn't know. Relatives didn't know. Like, friends didn't know because I never told anyone. But since no one ever said anything, I was like, it's either they don't know because it looks so natural or they're just being polite or whatever. So I'm like, but I took it as like, I think it just looks so natural that no one knows, because I did it. So one day I just made a social media post just coming out about it and just saying like, you know what, just let y'all know I've been wearing wigs for the past 6 months. No one's ever told me anything. I guess it looks that realistic. I just want to come out about it and just have like a weight lifted off my shoulders so I didn't feel like I had to hide anything anymore. So I did, and it felt really good, and I got so many positive feedback on it, and people started asking me to make it for them on the side, and I didn't have time, but I did start doing a little bit here and there, and it became like a little side hustle. And then eventually I had to turn it into a full-time hustle. I mean, I'm used to working in the salon, let's say 10 to 5, and I'm going home and work is done. Like, work is at work. But then now I'd be going home and work on wigs till 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, then go back to the salon and work on my clients, and then go back home and work on wigs. So I had to make a decision. Do you want to jump into wigs full time? Because you can't do both. Because I wasn't having time for my kids anymore. I was not sleeping anymore. I wasn't, like, it was just too much. And I was like, okay, so do you want to jump into this full time and not really know where it takes you, or be safe where you're at with the clientele you build? I mean, building a clientele is a lot of work, especially when I started, we didn't have social media. Like, we did Groupons and magazines and postcards in the mail, stuff like that.
Right.
So it took a long time to build a set clientele. And I'm like, I don't know if I want to throw all that away. But even my husband told me, like, don't. He said, don't go full time. Like, you don't know, that's risky. But when I think about something, I keep thinking about it and thinking about it. And I'm going to keep wondering about it if I don't do it. So I was like, I'm just going to do it. Because I can always go back to hair. Like, it will take me a while to build it back up, but I know I can, worst case scenario, I can go back to it. So I made a post and I said, hey guys, just letting y'all know, starting on this date, I'm going to jump into wigs full time because of this reason, this reason, this reason. And a lot of people were very upset, but a lot of people understood too. So it's one thing to think about it, but when I actually made the post saying I'm stepping away from the chair, I'm not doing it anymore. Once I clicked post, I was like, oh my
Instant
God. I was like, I don't know if that was the right thing to do. I was so scared. I was like, fuck, I don't know. But I was okay with it, and it was the best decision ever. Like,
Yeah.
it went from just me in my kitchen, because I didn't want to bring it to the salon. I worked on it at the salon here and there, but I wanted to keep it separate. But it was me, and then it was just me and my assistant, and then it was 3 of us, and it was 4 of us, and now we have like 14 of us. So,
That's
yeah,
crazy.
so
And I mean,
that's
you
how
have
it
like
started.
real impact all over the world. I mean, that's
Yeah.
very apparent. If anybody goes to any of her social media, like, you can see that she has customers from everywhere for every reason,
That's the
which
power
is
of
what
social
makes you so
media.
different too.
Yeah, that's the power of social media. That's why, I mean, one little post will go viral and everyone knows about you. So we
Yes.
gotta keep it up. But I also think that it's not just going viral and stuff like that, but we pride ourselves in giving back a lot. And I think, like, my family always taught me to always give when you can and when you can't. And I think that just kind of, I'm paid back in that way.
Yeah, you're definitely like cashing in on the good karma. I mean, you're always giving back. I mean, like, you just had an event. Can you tell us more about your event?
But yeah, I did. This past 2 weekends ago, I had a kids event at my studio, which we do every year. This is our third one. And kids from all over the US, they come to our studio and they get their makeup done, and they get wigs put on, and they get to do crafts. And most importantly, they get to meet other kids going through the same thing, where most of them haven't met someone else going through alopecia or trichotillomania or whatever the case may be. But not only that for the kids, but also for the parents. The parents usually haven't met someone, the other families going through the same thing too. So that's what we do. We do for the experience. It's like a photo shoot, and the photos are taken of them with hair and without hair. And the reason we do without hair is because we want them to know that they're perfect that way too, and the wigs is just, like icing on the cake.
I love that.
So it's fun, and it's a core memory for both. So we love it.
Yeah, it's like real community building. I want to take it back to when you were a liar.
When I was a liar? When was I a liar?
When you weren't telling people that you were wearing a wig, like when you first started, because I thought that was really interesting. Like, I didn't know that about you. I think that's really cool. Whenever someone would maybe say like, "Oh, your hair looks so good today," or whatever, like, what would you feel in that moment? Like, take us back to
Very
that.
insecure. Like, I would just not say anything. I'm like, oh, thank you. They knew I did extensions. The
Right.
extensions all day. Well, yes, extensions. I got my hair done or whatever. But you felt very like imposter, like very awkward, very like, are they compliment me because they know I'm wearing hair?
They're trying to see,
Yeah,
what
yeah.
you'll say.
So yeah, it's a roller coaster of emotions for
I
sure.
feel like a lot of people have that like similar effect right now when I talk to people who are like on like weight loss medication or whatever, and they're maybe not comfortable sharing that out loud yet, and they're like, "Oh, I felt so weird." Like, are they saying that because they want me to admit it,
Yes,
or are they
exactly.
just saying, "Hey, you look great," you
Exactly.
know?
Well, that's the thing. What my clients tell me now is when they wear wigs and someone compliments them, they just have to say, "Oh, I can't help it. It's a wig. It's a wig." And I'm like,
Mhm.
"Yeah, but it's probably because they're either trying to get it out of you or they really just genuinely don't know." But because I think like the way I think is just very sneaky. Like I'm not a sneaky person, but like you know what I'm saying? Like I feel
Sneaky
like people are
fox.
very sneaky, and I know like you're trying to out me on something. So I'm just gonna
Right.
hurry up and say it before someone else says it. You know?
Yeah. I feel like for a lot of communities, wearing wigs is very, very taboo, very like big stigma around it. And I feel like your special sauce has been twofold. One is like the work you do to help others, like help people who are in bad positions, like the children, and you know what I mean, that shouldn't have to, the world is cruel in that way to give them that, like deal that hand to them. But then also I feel like you do a great job at like destigmatizing wearing wigs. And I just want to know, like, what is it, like, what is that special thing that you know how to do that makes them like so undetectable, unclockable?
So physically, the wig itself is, the lace has to be very transparent. It has to match all skin tones, which it doesn't because it's impossible to match all skin tones, but it's the tricks with it. Like, say I had a customer who had darker skin come in and want a wig, and our lace is a little bit light for them, then you have to learn how to put bronzer on it or put a lace tint on it to darken it up a little bit, Our lace is already very transparent, so, I mean, you can take a close look at mine. You probably won't be able to see
No
it, but
idea.
it's just about the lace. It's about the density of the lace. It's about our hair is hand tied, like literally one by one into
Wow.
each hole in the lace. It's not like costume wigs where it just looks so dense, And then we also customize the hairline. Like everyone's hairline is more sparse in the front naturally, so we make it more sparse in the front. So we just try and mimic a natural hairline as much as possible. And then obviously we do like all the colors and we have the natural textures and stuff. So, but that's physically. But as far as like wearing it confidently, I always tell clients like, okay, I'm about to put this wig on you. When you see yourself in the mirror, you're going to instantly feel it looks like a wig
Mhm.
because it's on you. You're used to seeing yourself with less hair, and you're looking at that person I just put a wig on, and that person I just put a wig on. You're like, why does it look so good on them, but it doesn't look good on me? I'm
Mhm.
like, because it's on you. You're looking at yourself. When you're looking in the mirror to look for what you just put on, you're looking for it. You know what I'm saying? Like you're looking for that lace. You're looking for where that line starts. Like no one looks at you up there. They're looking at you
Right.
here. So I have to remind them like it's all us. Like we're the one that's gonna be hardest on ourselves. So it's all about how you wear it.
I think, I mean, I know this because I know just people in our own community that have been like, girl, like, I know these people are busy. I know that they're like, many of them are like owners of successful, high volume businesses in our area. And I'll be like, girl, like, when do you get time to do a fucking blowout every day on yourself? Like, I don't understand. And they're like, no, Wigs by Tiffany. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my God, I had no
There's a
idea.
lot of people up here that have my wigs and you wouldn't know it, but people don't talk about it though, which is
Mhm.
okay. Like not everyone's ready to talk about it. Like whatever you see on my social media is only like 10% of what we do, because most people aren't okay with filming, which is fine because it's a vulnerable subject.
Absolutely.
But I also want to remind them like when you're not talking about it, which is I'm not pushing you to talk about it, but when you're not talking about it or when you're trying to hide it, you're only adding to the stigma that there's something wrong with it.
True.
You know?
Yeah, it is such a raw time. It's like being naked almost, you know what
It
I
is.
mean?
It
Like it's just
is. It
like,
is.
oh, here's what I look like under my hospital gown.
Yep. It's very vulnerable.
You know, as much as you've built up this amazing reputation, I know that they have some like haters or disrespectful people or people who might not understand that like your product is a premium product. It's not costume. Like it is that next level. Like what's something that kind of surprises you or like a disrespectful thing someone said or
It's usually from online trolls and stuff. So the bad thing about me, and I get yelled at by my team all the time, is like I get very defensive and protective of myself and my team and my clients. So if I post a video of someone and they're getting all this praise, like hundreds of comments of praise, and I get that one comment where they're like, that wig looks fake, or
mhm.
she shouldn't have bought that color, or whatever, I get defensive and I'll respond when I shouldn't.
Mhm.
you know? So I'm very protective, but wait, what was the question again?
Like what's a story or like maybe a comment that somebody's made?
Oh, like your wig should be cheaper. You shouldn't be charging that much for people who are going through such a hard time in their life, or you're taking advantage of the hair loss community and stuff like that. And I'm like, part of me feels guilty sometimes being in this industry because I do make a living off of people who are sick.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I do.
Right.
But
And that's one perspective.
right.
But the flip is,
But the thing is, like, I help so many people and I change so
100%.
many lives, and I make something that looks realistic. And if I could do it for cheaper, I would.
Mm-hmm.
But the products that go in it, and the sourcing, and the time, and the energy, and the actual work, like, that's a lot of, it's worth a lot,
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why we price things the way we do. I mean, obviously, I give free wigs to kids. I would give it to everybody if I could, but I can't because we got to work. But I don't know. I just feel like there are people out there that say that, and I can't really say anything to make it make sense to certain people because they're gonna think what they think, But
And it's like for some people, it's like there is no cost to feeling confident for themselves. Like they're going to spend money regardless if it's on clothes or doing, hair coloring throughout the year or whatever. When you add up that kind of stuff, like your wigs and the longevity of them.
yeah, and like when you're buying a wig, yes, it's a lot up front, but it lasts a couple years. If you take care of it, some people have it for 5 years, some people have it for 1 year. It really just depends on how you care for it. It's kind of like buying a car, getting your tires rotated, your oil changed, send your wig in to get deep conditioned, send it in to repair that hole you put in it or whatever. So it's just all about maintenance, but you're not getting your hair colored. You're not getting extensions done every 6 weeks. You're not.
I want one so bad.
And it saves a lot of time. Like I literally do my makeup for like 20 minutes and then I put my wig on and I'm done.
What do you feel like a lot of the footage and stuff that we see on social media is so raw, it's so emotional, very vulnerable. A lot of it to do with children. And like, what are some standout moments that you were like, I'm doing good work?
I think every time someone comes in, because I know like every time someone steps in, they have this anxious, you can just feel their body language. They're not talking that much. They don't know what to expect. But like at the same time, when I see this, I'm like, they're about to be okay. Like they're gonna be fine. And then like 45 minutes later, they're talking a lot, they're smiling, the sad tears turn to happy tears. It's just like I know they're gonna be okay. Like once they step in the studio, yeah.
So that feeling doesn't get old.
No, I never get used to it ever because it's always a different story too.
Yeah.
But no, I'll never get used to it. I love it.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's such a fulfilling
It's
part.
very fulfilling. Like doing hair before always felt good because you're making other people feel good about their hair and how they look. But this is completely different because this is like from within too.
Do you have any like chaotic stories or like random things that have happened?
At the studio, we work primarily for our online store. So most of the time when we're there, I don't have hair on and I don't have makeup on and I don't have, anything like that. So a client will come early when I'm not expecting them and they'll come in and I'm like, fuck, I don't have my hair on. Like, hurry up, put my hair on. And sometimes they'll see me like that. I'm like, hey, I'm Tiffany. Sorry, I'm not ready. They're like, no, it's good because they're happy to see me
In a raw,
like that.
vulnerable
Yeah,
spot too.
So, yeah, I mean, I haven't had anything crazy happen yet, thank goodness. But stuff like that, like it's always unexpected, because we're not in the studio looking glammed up and dolled up all the time.
Right. I love that
Mhm.
though. I think
Yeah.
that kind of adds like a fun, unique part of like being in the beauty industry too, isn't like that feeling like you said earlier of like you feel like you always have to be on, you always have to be
Mhm.
pretty, you always have
Mhm.
to your hair has to look good if you're doing other people's hair.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh shit, like
Yeah.
nah, let me go grab my wig and throw
No,
it
but
on.
people love it though. They appreciate it. They're like, I'm so happy that we got to see that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was fun.
That does make
Mhm.
you definitely different than
Mhm.
any of the, other stories we'll hear
Yeah.
from beauty
It's a
experts.
very unique career.
Can you just tell us and anybody listening in, like, this episode's all about like glowing up and feeling good about this. If someone was interested or kind of like on the fence about their hair journey and were interested in wigs, like, what would you have to say to them?
Just come try it out. Like I talked to some people where they're like, yeah, I want to come, but I want it to be discreet. I don't want to tell anyone. I'm like, that's fine. But come try it out, because they're just scared of what people think. That's all it is. I'm scared people are going to know. So what if people know? I don't think people care as much as we think they do.
Yeah. We were looking at your website earlier because we were laughing. Mal, our creative producer here, she was saying, like, let's ask the real questions. Like, does she have eyebrows? And we laughed about it. And then we went on And we looked and you offer freaking eyebrows. And I was like, that's genius. And she's like, no, people really need
They
that.
don't have eyelashes, don't have eyebrows. Like, there's a lot of hair loss conditions out there.
Yes.
Yeah, and they look great too.
They really did. I mean, they were awesome. I was like,
Yeah.
whoa, whoa, whoa. I was like,
Mhm.
Mal, wait up. She's got the brows.
Yep. Yep.
And how long does something like that last? Because those are like super affordable.
Yeah, so it's on and off every day. You just put a little bit of glue or tape on there and put it on your eyebrow, and then at night, just take it off. Just like a wig, just take it on and off.
It's like fake eyelashes, like
Mhm.
same.
Yep.
Okay, I want to end with this question before we do the rapid fire. It's like, what do you want your legacy to be?
I just want to be remembered as someone who gave a lot. That's all. Every time someone asks me that, I'm like, just remember that Tiffani was always a giver. Just always give back.
She's a giver.
Yeah.
Okay, here's my favorite segment of every episode.
Yay.
First question, rapid fire. Are your wigs fight proof?
No. I always tell people, because they're always like, is it going to come off? You know, like, is it going to stay on? Is it going to come I'm like, yeah, it's going to stay on because you get the right size, but don't get in a fight. I literally tell them.
Don't get in a
Don't get in
fight.
a fight, yeah.
You heard it here. Shit's gonna go flying.
I'm not even going to try and sugarcoat it. Don't get in a fight.
Well, what about sex proof then?
I've tried it. It doesn't stay on. But, I mean, you got to be like, you know.
So no hair pulling on these.
No.
It's
No.
real hair. It'll come
No.
out. Who would be your dream celebrity to style if they were interested in playing along with wigs?
I guess Kardashians are known for their wigs, so that would be really cool just to have that opportunity.
I know you say you're not a celebrity girl, but you are a reality TV girl.
I do love reality.
I'm like, we kiki
Trash
about.
TV.
Yeah. What about that? Like, who would you want to work with?
Maybe Whitney would be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, she would do the
Yeah.
purple wig.
Yeah, she always has different looks too, so I think
Yeah.
she'd be fun to play with. Yeah,
She would be cool for like a red wig.
she's had
too.
red hair. I've seen her.
Oh,
with
I've
red
never
hair.
seen that.
Mhm.
Ooh. Have you seen any bad wigs lately that you're like,
Yeah, Heidi Montag had a.
I literally said that. I said Heidi.
So many people tagged me in it, and I'm like, you know, I mean, she probably like Spencer defended her and was like, not everyone can afford a $20,000 wig, but I'm like, hey, my wigs aren't $20,000. Come give me a try, you know.
No, 100%.
That was pretty bad, but I would have some really good options for her.
Now, I will say this though, Heidi has been like putting in the work. She has done like full dance routines and things
know.
like that.
know.
It would fly off. You'd have to use tape for that.
You'd have to
right?
use. You'd probably have to use it.
Yeah.
But we have wig grips. I have wig grips that are actually patented and on the market.
Ooh.
That I patented in probably like 2 years ago. It was a long process, but we like finally got patented 2 years ago, and they're made to hold your wig on your head better. And so people have said that they rode roller coasters and stuff with it, and it doesn't come off.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
So they can definitely ride.
So they can like do performances.
Those are sex proof.
I'll let you know. I haven't tried it yet.
She just tosses that thing off
Yeah.
before she gets on, huh?
Nope. And sometimes Joe will be like, "Wear that one today."
Ooh.
That one today.
I got chills. See, I want to play with wigs so bad.
When he tells you he wants to see different women, which one?
Yeah,
You know?
exactly. Which personality you
Yeah,
want today?
yeah.
I love that.
Mhm.
All right. What is a red flag you've seen in a client before they ever sat down?
I'm
Online?
really easy.
Yeah.
No.
So you'll
like
even
they'll-
deal with the red flags?
No, I'm saying they'll tell me I'm really easy.
Oh, they'll tell you that. Oh, they're saying
yeah,
they're
like
really
they're
easy.
really
That's
easy.
automatically.
Yeah,
no,
I'm
you're
like,
not.
no, you're not.
100%. No,
I'm
that's
really easy.
so
But do you
funny.
have this and this color and this specific? But I don't want this. But I don't want. I'm
So
like,
if they say that
really easy.
9 times out of 10, they're going to be your difficult
Yeah,
one.
yep,
Yeah.
yep.
And you do it with grace.
Yeah.
All right, last question. Are you all caught up on all episodes of Dear Everyone?
I'm catching up. But I'm not all caught up.
Okay, at least she's honest. All right, everybody, if you have any more questions about wigs or want to learn more about Wigs by Tiffani, we will have everything in the show notes on how you can go to her website, all that. But how can they follow you on socials?
So our social media is at Wigs by Tiffani for everything: YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. Tiffani with an I.
Tiffani with an I. All right, if you could look right into your camera
Mm-hmm.
and maybe start it off with Dear Everyone, this is how you glow up. Maybe a little tip, a trick, or something that you want to say and get off your chest.
Dear everyone, who cares what people think? Just wear the wig.
Obsessed. Oh, welcome back to the beauty episode. Again, I'm your host, Victoria, and we are here today continuing on our conversation all about glowing up. And we brought on our experts to do just that, to tell us exactly what we need to do to be hotter, better, more confident. And in this conversation, it's all things hair. I have our guest here, Miss Toni, and she is going to bring us through the process and what it's going to take to feel and look like the celebrity that we all are.
Yes.
So, welcome to the show, Toni.
Thank you, Victoria. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, so tell us all about how you got started with all things hair.
My mom actually went to beauty school when I was 6, and so I just kind of always been in it. And she, after beauty school, went into owning. And so she had an opportunity to take over another existing salon. And I just grew up in a hair salon playing on mannequins when I was elementary age. And then it kind of evolved into her pulling me in on a Saturday where I was folding towels, answering the phones, shampooing, things like that. As I got older, her front desk girl, that was the main person, left. And so she was like, I just need you to step in. And from there, it just kind of evolved. And I started there in salon management and then kind of directing our stylist and doing all that. And then I decided that I wanted to do makeup. So I went to makeup school and was a part-time, really outside of salon hours. I would travel on the weekends and go do weddings and things like that. And then once I had my son, I decided that I wanted to do hair so I wasn't lugging everything around, all my equipment and stuff like that. So I just did an apprenticeship under one of our educators in the salon, got licensed, and here I am.
I'll say I hadn't even heard of like the apprenticeship option. Can you tell everybody listening like what that is, or for Louisiana what that is?
Yeah, not every state does it, so that is important to know that I think there's only 4 states that do that. And I didn't really know that that was an option either. So we had an educator at our salon who worked for a major color brand. And she was also a salon owner for, God, like since she graduated beauty school. And she was in her 40s at the time. And so I was searching and debating, am I going to go to beauty school? I don't want to keep like investing hours and then it not work. So I decided that she was like, you can just do the apprenticeship. And it's honestly, I'm not a cosmetologist, I'm a barber on my license. So we signed up and you learn everything in the salon under a licensed educator or master barber is really what it is. And so I was an assistant. They taught me everything I needed to know. And then I would go to class. We had to report to the Delgado campus in New Orleans. And we would test out and they would do like little classes there for us. And then at the end of it, you're really just working in a hair salon. And all your learning comes from there. And then you have to go do a state board test afterwards. And then you get your license. And that's kind of what I did.
I think that is such a cool option.
Yeah.
Like I know that they even have stuff like that, like most famously made known right now for lawyers or attorneys in California, like because
Mhm.
that's what like Kim Kardashian has done when people are like she's not going to school. Well, there's other options.
Yeah.
Like I think that's a really unique way. I think like looking back at it, had I known about stuff like that when I had Trace, in high school,
Yeah.
like I think I could have gone a route with something like that. Now, ADHD, I would not still be doing it, but
Yeah.
it would have been kept me busy
Yeah.
in the beginning. I think that's a really cool, better option for a lot of people.
Yeah, and it's your so one thing is that like when people go to beauty school, they'll go for the 9 months and then they have to go assist in a salon for another like 9 months and then they're here almost 2 years in where they could be building the whole time. And what I love about it is that we take them under our wing and then like give them small tasks. Like this few weeks you're going to learn on greeting clients, learning how to shampoo, learning how to gloss, and then you kind of like build from there and add skills. And from there, once we are confident in that, then we'll start booking those clients on them. So if someone calls and it's one of my clients and they're like, I need a blowout today, and I'm like, I can't do it, I'm busy. I'll be like, but I have Jesse available that can do it. And then it gives them the opportunity to have real working experience before they're even.
And builds their confidence.
It does. And that's a very big part of that.
Now, as a kind of mentor at this point, like you're the mentor now, like,
Yeah.
are you able to tell very quickly or
Oh, yeah.
anything?
Mhm.
Yeah. I didn't even finish this, but like you can tell who's going to catch
Yeah.
on quickly and who's not.
For sure. I feel like from me being in it, I think that that's one of the gifts that I received from being in it. So long as that I can spot somebody that is going to do well in it based off of like their personality and their willingness. And then you have some that'll kick their feet. And I like to give everybody a chance, but some people just don't work out, and you can see when it's in them for sure. Yeah.
And is that hard to have like those hard conversations, or are you pretty good at that?
I'm pretty good at it because I'm not judgmental or mean by any means. I'm very respectful and loving. So when I have to address certain things, I take a very delicate role with that, but also try to remain authoritative at the same time. And it is kind of, I always wonder, like, am I being mean about it? Like, I'm not trying to hurt your feelings, but we do have to address this, you know? And so it is kind of hard sometimes, but most of the time it flows and they're good.
I want to make like a side comment for the people who are listening from South Louisiana. We have listeners from all over the world, but specifically for you guys, if you find yourself needing a good, what I call bombshell blowout,
Yeah.
y'all knock it out. I mean, I have so many salon friends, like owners, and they will tell me to come in because I give good feedback. I have never, ever, like, no notes, chef's kiss. Every time I'm in there, I walk out like a bombshell, and y'all really do whatever it is like that we want, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
And sometimes I'm like, I don't know how to say this, but you somehow like intuitively pick up that like I wanted like that old school Victoria's Secret bombshell blowout. And I mean rollers, everything.
Yeah.
No one does that anymore.
Well, it is a lost art, and I think that, you know, it is like they say, like old school, but it's valuable today. So like and that's coming back. And a lot of hairdressers before that are coming out of a time where it's all like loose waves, messy hair. They don't know how to get volume in the hair. And but when you learn from an old school hairdresser, they teach you how to do a classic roller set, how to build volume in the hair and have a foundation to build on. And then I know that based off of you with like your big personality, your big hair, we want to embrace it and not make it like smooth and make it small, because we just didn't want that. And we know that you like that. So
You know, they have like certain products from certain companies and they call it like bedroom hair or whatever. I definitely think that gives bedroom hair.
oh, for
It's
sure.
so sexy.
Yeah.
And not it like an effortless way, even though it takes a lot of effort because I have a
It
lot of
does.
hair.
It does. It's fun though. It's very rewarding.
So good.
Mhm.
But okay, so with that being said, I wanted to move on from that. I want to talk about your journey with Moroccan oil, if that's
Yeah.
okay. Can
Yeah,
we
that's
talk about
fine. Of
that?
course.
Like
Yeah.
when we walk into you know, your mom's salon, it is like Moroccan oil heaven. It smells so good.
Oh, the way we started was Moroccan oil released in 2007, I think, just a little sample bottle of oil, and it's their argan oil, and it's the pilot of the whole line. And so in that time, I was like 17 years old, and we were flat ironing our hair to hell and back. And so my mom would say, use heat protectant, use an oil, use this. And so one day she went to a beauty show and she got one of the original sample bottles that the owner, her name's Carmen, was passing out at a hair show. And she was like, here, they brought this, you know, use it, make sure you're protecting your hair. And so I put it in and I was like, nothing has ever made my hair feel this way or smell this good or look as shiny. And so from there, we kind of took on the brand with their oil. So I've honestly been using Moroccan oil like half my life. I'm 35 now. So to know it is just something because it's been a building block. So they'll release the shampoo, then they release the body line, then they release, now we have a full color line. So we're fully branded with them. And we've attended many shows with them, lots of educational things. We go to Manhattan every year to train at the studio there. And we're very plugged in, and they know us because we're one of the original salons that they've taken on. We're like their flagship salon in the area. So,
I love it.
yeah.
I love it. I mean, you guys definitely have the stock for Moroccan oil.
Yeah,
it is-
like I'm on, when you go into Manhattan, I'm just going to brag for 1 second. They play in their studio when you walk in. It's like an introduction video, and I'm in it because I was there the first day they ever filmed in their new beautiful location. And I'm like, there I am. I'm a celebrity in Manhattan, but
you're a model. You're an
yeah,
actor.
I literally am. And I'm like, what the hell? But it's awesome. Awesome
I love
to see.
that.
Yeah.
I love that.
And
Let's
I
talk
believe
a-
in it. So it's
Oh,
not hard to
100%.
sell, you know.
Even like in the bathroom, everything smells so good because it's all
Yeah.
from the Moroccan oil line.
Mhm.
I'm obsessed. Okay, what is one celebrity hair trend that you are loving right now?
I'm liking a lot of the old money looks because they're going back to like the classic beauty. And I'm just really loving it because it's not all bleached out, like artificial. The hair trends that I'm loving right now with celebrities is everything's very natural, like effortless and shiny. And they're going back to like the health of the hair. And I love that right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it looks pretty low maintenance, and
Yeah.
there's kind of like an art that you do. Even when we discuss like my hair, when you have your hands in my hair, you're like, okay, what are you looking for right now? What's the vibe? And sometimes, a lot of times with like the majority of my hair, maybe not the face framing pieces, you I tell you, like, I'm really bad about keeping up with my hair, so I need something that's like more low maintenance, and
Hmm.
you do a great job of like blending in pieces where I still have my highlights, but I can go longer without coming to see you.
Right.
Even though I want to see you all the
I
time,
know. I
but
want to see
like
you all the time
also
too.
also I'm busy.
Yeah, I know.
And you know what, it's one of those things where even though getting like beauty maintenance stuff done, if you have that communication with your stylist and say like, hey, I can't afford to come in every 6 weeks to get my roots touched up or whatever, like a good stylist works with you
Oh,
on
yeah,
things like
we do.
that. What is that called? Like that style
What do you mean, like the in
lived
between? Yeah,
in
it's lived
or
in. The way things are going now is that we kind of are in like a recession with hair, and so prior years we're seeing like the mermaid extensions with the bleached out hair, and now people can't afford that. That costs
Mhm.
like $2,000 to do things like that, and we're going into where it's just more manageable and easy.
Mhm.
Um, so when you have a client and they'll say like I want to do a big appointment today, we'll do the highlights, we'll do the glossing, we'll do everything. And then I like to set my clients up on a kind of like a regimen
Mhm.
because one, we're very big on the health of the hair. So if we're booking you every 6 weeks to come get like a full highlight, that shit is gonna break off. Like it's gonna
Mhm.
break. So we'd like to make the hair where it's very blended at the root, and then we'll have them come back in 6 weeks for a gloss refresh. And the Moroccan glosses are very healing and shiny. And usually people, that's kind of what they're seeing when their color starts fading. They think they need to get the whole shebang, but they really don't.
Mhm.
And then we'll have clients that'll spend like $350 on the full thing. And then they're like, my budget is, this. So we're like, well, let's just do a little haircut and a gloss when you come back in 6 weeks.
Mhm.
And then from there, so really the it's kind of learning how to level out how we can keep them long term. Because
Yeah.
I don't want to rob them every time they come.
What are some common hair care mistakes that you think people are making at home, and then like how can we avoid them?
So I am a diehard believer. You cannot ever persuade me otherwise that you don't need oil. Like I think everybody needs a good oil um, for hair care. Like it's without a question, even fine hair. If you find a good brand like Moroccan Oils is, it disappears right into the skin. It's not heavy, but everyone thinks that it's going to weigh their hair down, and that's definitely not the case. I think investing in a really good deep conditioner, just a good like basic capsule of products.
Can you share a memorable transformation story of maybe like a client whose look kind of got completely revamped and how it impacted you as a stylist?
Hmm. I mean, in particular, I have had a few like cancer survivors that have grown their hair back out, and then for me to be the first person to do it, it's beautiful.
Can you walk us back through like a moment maybe that's sticking out?
Well, she's actually a coworker now, but oh god, I'm gonna cry for that one. But I had to shave her head, and then sorry.
No.
But yeah, like I had to be the one to shave her head, and I was like bawling, crying, and this girl is like, "It's gonna grow back, like get a grip," and she's like, "Don't worry,
Get a grip.
it's
It's
gonna be
crazy.
good, like it's gonna be fine." And so I was like bawling, crying as I was shaving her head, and then she like it. She went through her treatment. She's a single mom with 3 kids, and like went through all that by herself. She's good now, thank you God. But she went through all that and then grew it back out, and then to have her color done and her feeling back to herself was like beautiful.
It was a moment. Yeah. It makes everything worth it. Long days, huh? Do you have any funny or crazy salon stories, like maybe a wild client request or a disaster you had to fix?
Yeah, I've had lots of color corrections by people that I've put like crazy stuff like box dye, things like that, and having to transform that
Why does box dye like mess up hair so bad?
because it's not really regulated by it's just like mass produced, and it's inconsistent. So it's marketed to people like, oh, this is gonna make your hair beautiful, but there's really no professional standing behind it saying like, this is permanent. It's gonna stain your hair. You're never gonna be able to get it out. So like it. I think if the right person is educated enough, it's fine. But to try to remove that out, it's very a lot of them will use fabric dyes and things like that on the inside, like high ammonia, high just they're the
Fabric
pure
dyes on your hair.
yes, but they're so filled with all these ingredients that are not good for your hair. Because the quality's low, so they're affordable for the consumer, but you know, really, it's not good. Like it's just not.
A lot of the questions we get from like younger people, like college students and things like that, they want to go towards that because it is a quick and easy fix. Like, what is something that you could tell them to do or to avoid in a situation like that instead of like having to go sit down and pay $350 or whatever?
I would definitely stay out of your grocery store, Clairol, those types that you get from Walmart or CVS and things like that. And I don't want to say it, but if you need to, go to Sally's, and they do carry like Wella. Wella is a major color brand. We used to be a Wella salon, and they just have a more affordable option there that you can do, and it's box dye. But I don't want to say like go get Sally's color, but they do have a little more higher quality in them. Um, Also, asking your hairstylist or finding a hairstylist that can come through with like a budget friendly thing, like tell them your budget. Like, I only have $65 to spend. What can I do? And a lot of them will work with you on that.
All right, well, let's get to my favorite part of every episode, which is rapid fire questions.
Oh, Lord.
So you're going to pretend like the house is on fire and you only have 1 second to answer. Okay, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Do you rather do a red transformation or a blonde transformation?
Red.
Do you rather cut and style a short haircut or a long?
Short.
Coffee or tea?
Tea.
Or energy, huh?
Energy. I can't live without Celsius.
Yeah, early morning appointments or late afternoon?
I'm not a morning person. Or late afternoon's good for me.
Are you posting on TikTok or Instagram?
Instagram.
Okay, and do you ever get any inspiration from, say, the Met Gala or the Oscars or anything like that, or do you pull inspiration from like Pinterest?
I pull inspiration from what everyone's collecting. Like, obviously I do, or like what I collect information from clients and like what they're wanting. I think that's more practical because we're not all celebrities. But I do stay on top of that, like what all the celebrities' hair is looking like.
Do you have a favorite reality show or TV show?
Oh, me and my husband just watched Love on the Spectrum, and when we're done, I was like, oh no, I gotta find something similar.
Oh
I
no!
also love The Wife Swap. I know it's like an old
Yeah.
show, but that's one of
It's
my
like a comfort
favorites.
show for
Yeah,
you.
it's so good. I love it. And I'm like, you see, I could be worse, but it's so good.
All right, that is a marriage tip from Toni.
Yeah.
How long have you been married for?
Oh, me and Jake started dating when we were in high school. We got married when I was pregnant with my oldest son, who's 10. Yeah, so that's that. We've been married about 10 years now.
Yeah, that's great. But together half your life.
Half my life, yeah.
Incredible. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, and favorite book that we need to go read?
Right now, Frida McFadden books. They're thrillers. They're really good. Every book I just love them.
Are you all caught up on all episodes of Dear Everyone?
Yes, I've watched every single
Period.
episode.
In fact, she even
Yeah.
listened to a new one that came out while we're recording this today that
Yeah.
I haven't listened to
No,
yet.
I was listening to it while I was getting ready to come here.
Love it. I love it. And if you could go ahead, look into your camera and give the world a beauty tip, a piece of advice, or just something from your heart and start off with Dear Everyone.
Dear everyone, stay true to yourself, work hard, and stay in your own lane and don't give up on your dreams.
And if you guys want to learn more and follow Toni on her journey, then you can write down below in our show notes. We have everything linked. But Toni, you want to say it out loud? What is your Instagram handle?
My Instagram handle is Toni with an I, dot, like period, KJ Salon. And that's really all I use. We have our salon page too. It's at Kent Jacob Salon on Instagram.
Perfect. And thank you so much for
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Bye-bye. And welcome back. It's our amazing episode on how we're going to glow up. And we brought in another beauty professional, an expert in her industry. And while she's been doing me and my son's personal tanning for years and years and years, probably a decade by now, she actually started this company with a heart for helping people to not get Cancer. And I think that's very interesting. So let's bring on our newest expert guest. Why am I talking like that? Welcome to the show. Welcome to Dear Everyone, Alysia.
I love you.
Alysia, can you tell us about how you get started and about your business and like what's happening with that?
So 20 years ago, right, I went on MySpace just trying to figure out how to start sunless tanning. And a girl in California had skin cancer and was spraying the Victoria's Secret models. And I knew that there was a need for it in New Orleans and in Louisiana, and I was working at a tanning bed salon. So I needed to try to stop tanning in the tanning bed because my parents were going to kill me if I kept doing it. And, people were coming in that had skin cancer, like a bride. She's like, I'm just going to turn the facial lights off, but I'm getting married in 2 weeks. And I was like, do you want to live to your 1 year anniversary? And then it was all just like, it's not going to happen to you until I was 21. Because I preached it. Like, I would tell people, WebMD, there's no such thing as a base tan. Like, don't let your child tan in the tanning bed. But then when I was 21, my favorite uncle, my aunt's husband, passed away quickly from melanoma. And then luckily my old bosses, they were like, this was your dream. Like, you wanted us to order all this sunless stuff. So that was like end of high school for me, like 2005, 6, 7. And then my aunt called me and she's like, my uncle was a New Orleans police officer and he got melanoma from over UV exposure, the tanning beds at the gyms, the Blue Angels every year in Florida. I shared the banana boat bottle with him. And it was the norm back then in the early 2000s. And then Louisiana Glow in 2014, right after they passed the law against minors tanning in the tanning bed, was when I was like, Louisiana Glow, we're a sunshine state just as much as California and Florida. We just need skin health awareness. And then I wanted to honor my uncle because he would have done anything for anyone and preached that. And I know he wanted to live. And I've been blessed with Louisiana Glow because he died in 2011. And then in 2021, I got to ring the bell with a client turned friend that actually was able to find melanoma on. Like, her lymph nodes were swollen in her armpit. And I was doing a legal essential tan during the pandemic. And I luckily was became friends with her like you. And I was like, Nicole, like, you can't turn around and finish your tan. Like, you need to schedule an oncology appointment. Like, your lymph node swollen could be bad. And it was actually what happened to my uncle. Like, he was working out, thought he tore his armpit, and then it ended up being stage 4 melanoma in his armpit and his lymph nodes. So I believe that Louisiana passing that law, had something to do with my uncle's story. And then a lot of, people over the years have, really blessed me with the platform of this to work with like schools and pageants and all of that. So I love Louisiana Glow, just not for the making people tan, but using it as a tool to educate people on why they're choosing a sunless tan.
Let's be so for real. Shopping should feel fun, not like a chore. And that's what makes Tresco Boutique so, so special. They're all about cute, affordable looks that fit your real life. From easy staples to statement pieces that instantly make your outfit. They carry styles for every shape and mood, plus shoes and accessories to top it off. And the best part, it's more than just shopping. It's kind of like hanging out with your friends who hype you up and help you find exactly what works for you. So whether you're browsing online or popping into their amazing location in Slidell, Louisiana, Tresco Boutique is where you'll find your next favorite look. Check them out at tres-co.com. That's TRES-co.com. Yeah, I think it's one of those things too where it's like Louisiana Glow is your platform to do sunless tanning, aka a spray tan. But Glow Don't Burn is really what you're stepping into as sort of like your ministry. Like, it's like your passion to spread skin health.
Luckily, when we were mandated to shut down, I was like, okay, people were calling, and I'm like, sorry, your tan's not essential. But then I was able to stop spray tanning, close down, the 3 locations, and started teaching people how to self-tan more than we normally do.
I mean, that's like counterproductive to other spray tan artists. They're saying, like, why would you teach these people? You're going to put yourself out of a job. But to you, your mission is so much bigger than that.
Yeah, well, anyone can learn a trade and make money. And being a sunless tanning professional, we're blessed to be in an industry that if you just
preach a little bit, you can make a big difference. And even, me, I wanted to be a physician assistant in dermatology, but I quit that when all my best friends were like, the people who need to hear what you want to say are always going to come to you to get a spray tan. The people who already know are going to the dermatologist. So it's a blessing because I don't have to be the best dermatologist in the world.
You still can have impact.
Like, Victoria, I'm not spraying you again until you and Devin and everyone get a skin check.
Yeah. And she very much so gives that energy. Like, she will call you out. She'll be like, do not come to me with your
Yeah, and
stage
so
2 sunburn. That's crazy.
so like the pandemic really like, I looked at the sunless industry and I was like, I've worked for cosmetic chemists, been to spray tan shows, and I'm like, and nobody was singing the same song. So then I was just like, you don't have to lose someone to preach skin health awareness through sunless tanning, like, really. And so that's whenever we started sharing the idea of Glow Don't Burn, and it took me years saying it and years of cosmetic labs and stuff like that. But then I'm like, it's not even about the solution. It's not about any of that. It's really just preaching skin health through sunless tanning. So Louisiana Glow became a Glow Don't Burn salon during the pandemic, but it kind of always was, but we just knew that our Louisiana Glow didn't align with anything the sunless industry had to offer. And so when I first started, there was like 3 brands, and then now there's, so many different ones. And it's not about the tan. It's about, you don't want to get a young girl addicted to the look and then think they have to always come pay to put their lipstick on. Like you're when you get your makeup done, it washes off at the end of the night. So with a spray tan, it can only last a good 5 to 7, 7 to 10 days, depending on your lifestyle. Victoria and her baths.
Yeah, she's calling me out because one of the questions I have for you is like, what makes a really good candidate for spray tans? Like, what makes a good
Anyone, albino, all the way to the darkest melanin you can have.
But like in the process of getting a spray tan, when you have to like prep and then take care of it,
Yeah.
I'm whatever the opposite of that is because I take 2-hour hot baths every single day.
Doesn't exfoliate old tan. It's like,
don't
oh shit,
exfoliate.
I need a new tan today.
Yeah.
I need a touch up. And I'm like, touch up? You need to exfoliate the old tan off. Like, there's a simple science behind dyeing the color of your skin. I don't make the rules.
And I know these things, and still here we are a decade later having the same problems with me. It's called insanity.
Literally. I
Sorry
love
for
that I hand trace, for all the Lifetime movies, all that, like, little
Yeah.
things he, the big, little and big things he did. And Trace was a big inspiration to me because, he's a young boy. What was he, like 8, getting spray tan?
Mhm.
And I was able to tell his dad when he took him to come get a spray tan, like he was a police officer, and share the story of my uncle with Trace's dad. So it's like, no, like he's not in here today as a child getting a spray tan. It's like the theory of a base tan. You are less likely to burn if you sunless tan, but it doesn't have any UV protection. And so that's why, like, someone albino, come get a spray tan before you go to the beach. But for your wedding, please don't. But it doesn't provide any UV protection. So it's like the theory of a base tan. Because even Bob Marley got melanoma. So when I was watching, like, America's Next Top Models, Tyra Banks and them were doing, like, airbrush body makeup. And I was, like, a kid. And I'm like, oh, my God, I need that. Because I remember my parents, my dad was like, no, she can't work at 2B Tan. It was a 24-hour tanning salon down the street, actually. And my mom was like, no, like, she walked up to the naked ladies in Greece at a nude beach on accident they took me to. And I was like, you should put clothes on. You're not going to have tan lines. But, like, I remember like wanting to be tan. And so like even now I have girls when they turn 18 or 17 illegally going to the tanning bed in Louisiana, because it's kind of like underage drinking, like no one's super regulating it. They're like, I'm addicted. And some people are like, I don't care if I get skin cancer because it's like the look we're chasing. So with Glow Don't Burn, I'm able to literally solve all the problems I've ever had with the sunless industry because it's super frustrating that it's not a luxury beauty service. It's simply a healthier alternative. And when you're out there, making it a luxury beauty service and overcharging and trying to chase a certain clientele, like, no, like tanning a child and their parents is just as nice as tanning a celebrity or someone. And so it's also funny because when I tanned a guy, he was filming some Netflix show and I showed him Trace and he was like, wow, I thought his tan looked natural. It was a picture on the balcony.
Oh, yeah.
And so that's like also nice. Like we want the look sometimes, but we don't want the damage. And a tan, sometimes it's like changing your look. So it's like helps you look and feel your best.
Yeah, 100%. One of the questions that we had here is our creative producer, Mal, over there. As we see, she has very, very fair skin and she's about to get married. And her question was is there a way that she can still look like herself on her wedding day, but due to, being in front of harsh lights and flash and things like that,
Yep. So
not
you're
be the same color as her
yeah,
dress?
you're literally like my husband Tommy. He was like, "Why are all of our pictures black and white?" And I was like, "Cause you won't get a spray tan." And so for my twin brother's wedding, he agreed to get a rapid tan for 2 hours. So it was just like a super light tan. Like he didn't even look tan. It was just kind of just giving him a little bit of like blood flow looking. I don't know, just a little bit like. But you have porcelain, beautiful skin. So I mean, we get brides all the time. We get destination brides that come to New Orleans to get married, and I'm like, I'm sorry, but like, you don't know, like you've never sunless tan. You don't need it. You don't have sun damage. Like naturally, you would never get a tan. So like, there's tons of brides that I tan for like their bachelorette party, all that stuff, but not their wedding because it's just a really pretty look, you know. So
So
we want
you're
to.
telling Mal probably not. You would advise her not to get one?
You know, like she could definitely do like the lightest and see how she loves it, but no, because naturally she would never get tan naturally. And if it's not in her everyday, like not every day, but like, she's not someone that's sunless tan, so it's just not her look.
I think her fear is that she's going to blend in with her dress, quite literally,
No,
with high flash photography.
she is that like porcelain
As
pretty.
we all stare at Mal, if you're listening to this and not watching us, we're like, she's pale as
But it's okay, so like
beautiful. It's
no,
gorgeous.
no,
Oh my
when
god,
when
she's
Victoria
gorgeous.
and I don't sunless tan,
We look ill.
looks sick.
Yeah,
So,
like we look green.
yeah, like
we look nauseous.
we're meant to be tan. I'm like first generation American. My mom's Colombian. My dad's Palestinian. Like I don't know where the melanin went for me. I'm like, but and naturally I did get really tan as a kid. So when kids come in with their parents and they're like, oh, like I get dark in the sun. I'm like, look, when you're a little kid, you have more melanin in your skin. It's your skin's way of protecting itself. So that's why like we educate, also with my other business, Global Mermaids, with Glow Don't Burn, because we're like, if you're from different parts of the world, like my husband Tommy, when he went in the Marine Corps, I was like, you just weren't meant to be in Africa. So of course you came back with crow's feet and sun damage. But if Tommy, my husband Tommy, he gets sprayed before we go to the beach because he doesn't want to burn. So, but he still has to wear like the UV protection clothes. So it's like that for Mallory, I'd be like, yes. But for her wedding, I'm like, no, like you're so pretty the way, like, But there's some people that like maybe if you had a twin that sunless tanned and that was her look, then but no.
No twin. No twin. What about on the opposite spectrum? I know you kind of discussed like Bob Marley with melanoma, things like that. What about anybody with a naturally like a lot of melanin in their skin if they want to kind of play around with tanning, like is like sunless tanning, is that a thing?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, being that I started sunless tanning in Louisiana, so I always joked, because my dog when I was started sunless tanning was Carter after the Lil Wayne album, and so I was like, they picked up the guns for all the right reasons with talking about spray tan guns, and then yeah, I was preaching to my African American friends. I was like, if you have skin, it can burn. And some people try to do white girl sunscreen and it flopped just because it was sleazy and just not a good brand for anyone to follow. And then the black girl sunscreen movement started, but luckily we had always included like all nationalities in the Louisiana Glow brand shoots. And one of our friends, Gianna, she modeled with us like our first Louisiana Glow brand shoot, and we hashtagged melanoma awareness. And this football player that played Texas A&M, he was in college playing football, and he found us through the melanoma awareness hashtag. And he was like, "Thank you for including like everyone in the
Oh, I love
photo shoots."
that.
He's like, "I had a mole on the bottom of my foot, and they whoever he went to overlooked it." And he's like, "It ended up ruining my football career because he had to get surgery, all that stuff." So with the brand that we created with Glow Don't Burn, we have to explain like anyone can benefit from a sunless tan. Like our friend Mel, when she goes to the beach to help her not burn, or if she just wants to play it up and have that light look, or go as super dark as she would want to for a day to just be like, "Hey sisters, I can also be tan." And so definitely like educating that. Like one time I was on a flight next to a girl from Washington D.C. and I like pulled up her pants and I was like, your top looks like you're in the Bahamas, like, but or Jamaica, like, but your bottom definitely looks like you've been working in DC for 2 years. And she was like cracking up laughing. And then I was like, glow don't burn. And then I was just talking to her. It was all like during the pandemic. And I don't know, it's crazy how like it all like falls into place. Cause when I was like 27, sitting there with my brother at LSU, he was, telling me like, oh, like sell Louisiana Glow. Someone's willing to like open a salon or buy it from you for 200,000. And I looked at him and I was like, I can't sell Louisiana Glow for all the money in the world because I was born and raised here, and no one's going to care about skin health to the caliber that I will. Like with working with the dermatologist and the mermaids to put a sunscreen station at the police department to advocate. Like there's so many local companies that want to work and do things like that. Like post office workers having bamboo clothes instead of just no UV
So
protection.
yeah, you do a lot of like
Yeah, and so
social work around this.
yeah, social work that does not need to be on social media, because if you're genuinely doing that kind of social work, it's hard to like take back to social media. But we picked up the Miss LSU pageant during the pandemic, and pageants are like politics. And our former Miss Louisiana USA, Sylvia, her dad died from basal cell carcinoma in 2015 in his throat. And so when I went to go tan her in Lafayette, I was like, why did you choose your platform early cancer screenings for Louisiana? And she told me that story about her dad, and I was like, oh, cool. I quit college for a second to do Louisiana Glow full time in 2015. And I was like, it's so nice. I was like, what do you plan on doing this year? And she's like, oh, she was also a news anchor in Lafayette at the time. And she's like, I'm going to go to the Louisiana Cancer Research Center and speak on behalf of early cancer screenings. And so with early cancer screenings being her platform and prevention and awareness and safe tanning habits being ours, after 10 years of sponsoring that platform, we were able to like meet Miss USA through Sylvia, and also like be more of like a global thing. And then so Glow Don't Burn becoming what it did during the pandemic just kind of I'm looking at Victoria because I'm like blaming her for everything. When you have friends, and that's super easy to like grow in Louisiana, being such like different than a lot of the other states as far as like community and everything. You don't really need a business plan, all those things. So it was very interesting to see like nursing students picking up spray tan guns because I yelled at them for coming in sunburnt during homecoming or whatever.
And she will call you out. Like, she does not care. I say she doesn't care, but the thing is, she cares. Like, she cares so much.
Like right now, one of our seniors, she told her best friend, she was like, tell Alysia that I went in the tanning bed when I turned 18. At least I waited till I was 18, and that she can finish her plans on law school if she wants to make them completely illegal. Because I told my twin, I was like, Uncle Chet died and passed a law, and like part of the story of Louisiana passing the law against minors tanning in the tanning bed. So I looked at him, I was like, game on. I don't have to go to law school right now to pass a law.
Yeah,
and so it's like,
that's true.
Working with the Department of Health to be like, look, like I'm not trying to shut down these gyms, but like why are they health clubs offering free tanning to our community?
Right.
And it's like beyond cringe, because it's like God's like playing with me when I literally get like a young person, and then I get someone else has constantly having to go to MD Anderson and go get stuff cut off. And it's just like, you just don't think though when you're young.
No,
and so
yeah, your brain's not developed.
So then I just have to tell the girls, I'm like, okay, I get it, but I'm like, thanks for challenging me, but please don't go. So we have people call Louisiana Glow, do y'all have tanning beds? I'm like, in a storage unit in Baton Rouge, please don't go.
What do you think about people who own their own tanning beds at their house? Should that be illegal?
So it's always been considered illegal in like Brazil, like it's barbaric to them, but also like they don't need a tan, a lot of them. The second country was Australia, and it is legal to have tanning beds in your home in Australia, but no.
Like your favorite spray tan clients, what do they do to prep? What's the key to a good tan?
You answer that question, right?
The key to a good tan would be exfoliation, hydration. So make sure you're drinking water, exfoliating the night before, not the right before.
Yes, look how trained she is.
And it should last a long time if you're taking like normal showers. But if you sit in a hot bathtub every night for 2 hours, like
Yeah, you can definitely hold color for 2 weeks. Definitely can last on vacation and all that if you try to take care of it.
I want to do my favorite part of every episode, which is the rapid fire question. So, you like a spray tan, like with the gun, or tanning mousse better?
Definitely spray tan gun.
Beach vacation or mountain getaway?
Beach, duh.
Morning or night?
Morning,
Okay, bold colors or natural shades?
natural.
Summer or winter?
Summer,
A quick tan for an event, or how do you feel about the gradual build-ups?
quick tan. I'm impatient.
Yeah. Okay. Superhero movie or romantic comedy?
Comedy.
Podcast or YouTube?
Oh no. What if I say you?
Are you all caught up on all episodes of Dear Everyone?
Yes, I'm trying. But if people keep calling me while I'm driving, it's impossible.
That's going to wrap it up for me and Alysia. But Alysia, can you please look into your camera and give us your best tip or whatever you have to say to the world, to everyone? Starting off with Dear Everyone.
Dear everyone, glow don't burn. Get a skin check. Tell your friends. Tell everyone you love.
Amen.
Skin's the one place you have to live for the rest of your life.
Ooh, bars. Thank you so much.
Love you.
Love you. Bye. All right, guys, and welcome back. We are continuing on with our Summer Glow Up series where we bring industry experts to talk about all things beauty and becoming just your absolute best, most confident self. So today I am super, super excited because one of my dear friends is sitting next to me. And not only that, though, we became friends because she fixed my face. And that is her signature program that we're going to talk all about. And we're going to hear exactly what's going on, what the next trends are, and everything you need to know or we're curious about medical aesthetics. So, Brittany, welcome to Dear Everyone.
Thank you. I'm glad to have you. For you to have me.
No,
I'm glad to have you too, though.
You're like,
Makes it more fun.
I am indeed glad to have you. Well, let's just tell everybody real quick, like, how'd you get started in this industry?
So, I started out as an RN, worked in the hospital on a step-down tele unit, decided to go back to be a nurse practitioner, loved the field, ended up going back and starting in primary care and in aesthetics. So soon after graduation, I did start doing some different Botox certifications, things like that, getting to some fillers, but still going straight into primary care first and just kind of getting my feet wet as far as getting all the education and stuff for medical aesthetics. So it kind of was right out the gate for me, but I didn't start practicing right out the gate. So I started practicing more like a year later. And so I had a little primary care under my belt as well, which I think was the way to go for me. I feel like it gave me the experience I needed prior to stepping into this type of medicine. And so I really ended up loving the industry, started just doing it a little bit on the side every other Saturday, starting to build my clientele. Took a little while doing that. And then gradually, as the clientele began to grow, I ended up converting, doing 100% of medical aesthetics once I, was doing, Botox and fillers and PDO threads and all the different things, doing some different laser devices across the lake and everything initially. And then, all the injectable services, it just became, what I ended up loving to do. And I've always loved doing procedures, and pretty much it just took off for me. I just wanted more and more and more, and to learn different things and put new procedures in my toolbox to be able to give people the full facial results and not just focusing on certain areas or certain things that, okay, I'm doing this because I can, rather than like, let me give somebody this full consultation, be able to fully rejuvenate their face and have them look like themselves, just a more youthful them, rather than, hey, look, this is what I'm able to do, so let's go ahead and just go with that. So once I went full time, I actually had found out I was pregnant with the twins right on with giving my notice with primary care, going full time aesthetics. And so did that after I delivered the twins. So at that point, I had a 2-year-old and twin babies. I decided to go 3 days a week for a little while. So the girls were going to be starting their little day program at 2. And that's when I opened Timeless Touch and started back full time injecting every day.
Love it. Love it. So, how do you feel like I have my own version of this on how I perceive you, but what do you think like really makes you and like your philosophy kind of different than everybody else besides like just not offering everything, but like what is that experience that people can expect?
So I feel like when I first opened Timeless Touch, I wanted it to be, a medical aesthetics office, strictly, injectable type procedures. So it's myself and now another nurse practitioner. We have Elena there, and she injects as well. So it's pretty much anything with a needle is what I tell people. So we're focusing on those things that we are good at, that we're fluent in, that we do every day, 5 days a week. So Botox, fillers, PDO threads. So we do non-surgical face, neck, and body lifting. I do hyperdilute filler face, neck, and body lifting as well. And then we do our injectable pellet hormone therapy because it's kind of worked out with the clientele we have. People are looking for that and able to, be the size they want to be. They're able to balance themselves out more and feel better. And all that ties into the skin and how you're looking with your injectables. So we did add on pellet therapy as well as over time after I was open for a little while. I was back and forth of whether or not we were going to go ahead and do a little weight loss. It is a smaller portion of our business, but we certainly do have a good amount of people on our weight loss program. But most of our people seem to be more like they love the inclusive part of the program and that they can get their injectables and everything with it. So we kind of focus more that way. And so again, people were, wanting to lose weight and then me doing their face and their bodies and stuff in the process. And so it just after a while getting requests to kind of do that in conjunction, we went ahead and added it. I had continued to do that where I work across the lake. After I opened Timeless Touch, we just had never started it there. And so that's why I went ahead and added that. And I was kind of like, it fits our model. It's injectable. We're sticking you with semaglutide or tirzepatide. So it kind of fit in and it fit in with the full face rejuvenation, the body stuff. I'm mostly focus on anti-aging and I started doing more and more procedures with people as far as anti-aging mixed with a lot of weight loss involved and how to truly rejuvenate somebody's face after weight loss and make them not look like they've had weight loss but also make them not look done.
Let's talk about like weight loss a little bit more because I know you have your own story. So what's that? Like here we like to just like sit back and like if we're talking like talk to them like you're just talking to your friends like we talk. So what's that kind of journey been like for you?
So I actually lost 101 pounds doing our program. My journey with that started even prior to opening Timeless Touch. With my 3 kids, when I went to have Colston, I really struggled getting pregnant, which a lot of clients relate with me on that. So I'm there for them through a lot of their fertility journeys too. So I'm very open about it so people, know that somebody else has been there. There's a lot of things involved in it, not getting pregnant, not, waiting for that time to come. So after 3 IUIs and 4 IVF treatments, I finally had my little Colsty. So I was more than thrilled to death to gain the weight for him. But when I went to do my first IVF treatment, I took the medicine. We just continued to go to get my levels right. And so in 5 weeks, I gained 28 pounds and was unable to actually transfer at that time. So it was kind of like 28 pounds for nothing. But over time, it ended up being for a good thing. I will say that was still to this day the hardest weight I've ever had to lose. Finally, after the 4th one, it took, and we got Colston. I nursed him for like 18 months and then went to night nursing until he was like right about 2. And until I hit that 18-month mark of not nursing him full time, I just never could lose weight. I was not somebody that could breastfeed and just drop all my weight. So I stayed and would climb back up almost to pre-pregnancy weight. So finally it finally started coming off. I had lost my weight with him. And then I found out I was randomly pregnant with fraternal twin girls.
That's crazy.
Such a
I
blessing.
did not know
Yes.
that.
Yes. So that's a good little tidbit about me. It's a wonderful thing. Again, you just don't stress and worry about that at the time. Like I had prayed, begged, like wanted for this so bad that I was just thrilled to death to have them. So I was still that 28 to 30 pounds up from all the fertility stuff that I had gained with Colston. I put on 55 pounds with the twins, carried them till almost full term. So after I delivered, I lost some weight. But again, nursed the twins till they were 15 months and like just could not lose any weight. They were on dairy and soy restrictions. I couldn't eat out. I couldn't eat barely like anything, and nothing in a box, nothing, processed. And I still just would gain weight or have the inability to lose weight. So once I finished nursing them, I was like, I've got to do something. Like, I'm going to go ahead and try this because how am I supposed to lose 85 pounds? I've always had, people in my family have had issues with weight loss. So I knew I was predisposed to it. But like at this point, was I just going to get used to this being my new normal? So I went ahead and started myself with one of my coworkers on semaglutide. Did that for a little while, lost about 40 pounds, and then went on tirzepatide and ended up losing the 85. I ended up developing my own weaning program that worked out well for me. And then just kind of decided, I don't look the same as I did prior. I guess childbirth makes you look a little different, even if you're the same weight. So I ended up getting back on and losing some there. And after all the new studies and everything have come out showing all the different cardiac benefits and, how safe it was to be on these medications, I've now kept myself maintaining where I take it like every 4 to 6 weeks just to maintain. And I've kept my weight off for a good while now, well over a year. So 101 pounds.
You look like a Kardashian. I was gonna say before we
Thank
started
you.
filming. But what would you tell to people? First off, let's go back to like fertility. Like, if somebody was coming to you and they were trying to say like lose weight or the benefits of medications like that, even from fertility perspectives, what do you have to say about that?
So I will say there's definitely a lot of semaglutide and tirzepatide babies out there for sure. Just like there was COVID babies, just like there was Optavia babies. There's definitely something to be said with these medications. I have had some people come and their fertility specialist told them to come get on, either which medication that they wanted them on it for a little while. I do leave the fertility up to the fertility doctors though. The second someone comes in and tells me they are trying to actively get pregnant or they are doing fertility, I have them get us their blessing first, prior to ordering anything, because that is not for me to decide. I certainly can help them lose weight, guide them in the right directions, make sure it's done safely, appropriately, check their blood work, make sure everything is fine with them medically. But I leave the fertility stuff to the specialist because I do have a personal respect for that as well, that they should be making those decisions for those type of women.
Yeah. What do you feel about anybody maybe watching who feels like they want to kind of look into some kind of GLP-1 program or something like that, but like they're scared? Like, how do you deal with people who come in that have like a lot of fear around it?
So I feel like education is power. So nobody can take that from you, right? So asking plenty of questions, telling us your concerns, telling us your fears, what you've heard, why you're concerned about it, because it's typically something that we've heard before. So I've been doing this now over here and across the lake for years now. So I've seen so many different patients, with these concerns and questions that majority of the time it's something we've already seen or done. I will tell you, majority of people's fears are, them having all the side effects and issues there. We did our program a little differently, and some of that was based off of my experience doing a weight loss program and looking at some of the different like group chats and all these different areas that people can talk about their side effects and what problems they're having or questions with the semaglutide and tirzepatide. So I do feel like personally, like if my clients are having an issue with any of these things or want to know something, I would love for them to reach out to me versus just trying to find out what happened to somebody else. It's certainly fine to do, but before they make a change with something with themselves, I'd like that to come to me so we can safely do it. Majority of the time that I've seen things happen is somebody taking something at home. Maybe they missed, they pulled up the wrong dose or they were unsure of the dosages. These are compounded medications, so they're not all the same. One place may compound it this way, the other place compounds it this way. So pulling up an amount of units versus knowing what your milligrams are is a big issue. So I felt like the most people I would see get sick in the past was from more issues like that, dosing issues and what have you. The way we developed our program was that people come in for their weekly injections, and if they need to do it online because their schedule doesn't allow for it, we do it as a video visit, as a televisit. And so they check in with us each week. We weigh them, do their blood pressure, make sure everything is going fine, make sure they're not having side effects. I don't follow specific guidelines as far as when to increase their dose. I make it very patient specific. Found that over time, people would get sick on the same jump in dose. So I made a dose in between there, and it cut people from getting sick. I have some people that have to almost microdose to start, but then they can continue to go up.
I feel like we need to even just like pause and re-talk about that. Like, you're saying so much of like a lot of the same issues that you were seeing over and over again. You figured out a way to like help to customize it to that person by adding kind of like a in between dose.
So, if you really truly think about how medication should be prescribed, it is prescribed from your provider. So, when you're treating patients, we've all learned the same way, right? You treat the patient, not the issue. We know different evidence based practice and studies to go off of, but you treat your patient. You're not treating a textbook, you're not treating what you've been taught. You're using that as your tools, but you're treating your patient. So, if somebody is like, oh, they're due to go up, but they're struggling where they are, you're certainly going to cause them more issues. So it is a stair stepping dose for a reason, and that is for you to not have side effects, to minimize your side effects, to allow your body to be able to use those higher weight loss doses. And to touch on that, basically to take it a step further, because it's a compounded medicine and all these aren't covered all the time with insurance, and so many people, there was such a need for them, and so many people are going to different clinics doing it, we made ours an all-inclusive program. So what I noticed too is, as you're doing a program where you're sending people home with a vial, or you're, doing this, that you're discussing their doses with them, you want them to be part of their care, but you certainly don't want somebody to go up or not go up over a financial issue. So that's why we came up with the plan to do an all-inclusive plan, no matter what your dose is, and we would stair step you up, maybe quickly with some of the lower doses and slower later, or whatever worked for you is the way it was done across the board. And so then that you took that out of the picture, because a lot of clients, I just would listen to what their issues were. I stopped losing weight because, I got to this level and now I can't afford the next dose. So whereas, when you come in, this is your charge. There's no hidden fees. It hits each month. You are supplied with all your medication. You are supplied with your B12 injections. It helps curb the nausea. Sometimes it also gives people that energy for people who feel like their air got let out their tires. So took into consideration those type of things and made it an all-inclusive program, and also tied it into our clinic where they get benefits for injectables and all the other things we do to be part of the Timeless Touch family.
What about any like stories? Do you have any like stories of how maybe specifically with weight loss, like something that's like really heartwarming or changed their life or
I have a few different things that are great. So some people may have gotten to a point that they're just uncomfortable. They're struggling to do their daily jobs. Namely, you have teachers who are getting on the ground with these kids, and that is so difficult to take care of all these little kids all day long. And now you're struggling with like your knees hurting and stuff like that. So I've had actually a few teachers that have done so well on it, and they are just it's a very heartwarming, wonderful thing. Like everybody comes in, I'm a hugger. So, we hug it out when everybody's hitting these milestones and just feeling better with their day-to-day life and their careers. And they're the ones that are bettering our kids. So I love that. I've had somebody who's gained weight, but like they weren't appropriate for weight loss medication like injectables because their BMI wasn't there. So we kind of turned that table too, and I feel like that was super important. So I went to a conference and we were talking about different GLP-1s and weight loss, and it was me and a few other providers, and they're kind of going back and forth. What do you do? What do we do? Like, just kind of chit chat and feeling it out. And we all came to a consensus is, why does somebody have to gain X amount of weight to be considered like, okay, look, we're not going to do it now and help you stay healthy, but we certainly will do it if you gain 50 more pounds.
right?
And so it kind of shut out people that were in that overweight category, but they weren't, either obese or, morbidly obese or what have you. So it was frustrating for those people. And listen, I turned down people initially as well. And it is, you feel bad because like that was the response you got, wow. Like, so I have to basically gain more for you to help me. And I hated that. So we don't go off of BMI. We go off of BMI. We have a shape scale that does 22 measurements. So people who are apple shaped and at risk for heart disease, we go off of their medical history. We go off of their weight history. So, gaining and losing. Somebody may have a nearly close to normal BMI, but they've gained 30 pounds this year with a hormonal change. And why are you making them gain now 60 pounds to get put in that category, whereas they normally were at like the lower end of a BMI, and now they're just like ticking and ticking and ticking, to go up. So it makes it very stressful for people. So we, listened to that and found a way to, be able to provide services for people other than just having them stick to something that was so strict that didn't allow people who truly needed help to get the help they needed.
And what do you think about, like, okay, so we have people who are listening all over, right? Like, they might not necessarily be able to come see you, but they're sitting there and they're feeling like, say, like, embarrassed. What would you say is important for any of the services and aesthetics and wellness and health? Like, what would you tell someone who's sitting at home feeling like embarrassed to get started with anything?
So I'll tell you the advice I give nearly all my clients when they're concerned about it, or like, oh gosh, this person can't find out. I always tell them, like, your secret's safe with me. You don't have to tell anybody your business. You certainly could, and you may help the next person. It was kind of crazy to see my before and afters, but I finally was like, you know what, I could help somebody else, so I'm just gonna do it. It doesn't mean that everyone has to do that. People don't have to put themselves out there to make somebody else realize, hey, you can do this too. But it is always the nice thing. But in those situations, I typically tell people, whether it's with injectables and they're trying to just maintain their appearance and it's making them feel good and have a healthy relationship with themselves and their families, but also, in their mental health. But also, as far as weight loss specifically, I pretty much tell people the same thing. Those of you that are judging you for taking a GLP-1 to help better yourself, and the key word is you are helping and starting something, admitting you have an issue that you need help with, and you are doing something to better yourself. Those people who are talking trash about you for helping yourself are talking about you anyway.
Wow.
My goal in life, once this came out after I did it myself, was to normalize weight loss and the need for help with weight loss, just like it is normalized to be able to take a medication to control your blood pressure, to control your diabetes. Why are you judging somebody else for needing help, needing medication, when it's okay for that too?
And like, one of the things that comes up a lot, I was just actually talking to a friend about this yesterday, because they approached her and said, so and so is obviously taking the shot and they're not talking about it. And I'm like, why are people so concerned? Like, since when do people have to like show you what medication they're taking?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, that's bizarre. Like, if you want to share and you think it'll help someone, awesome. But like, you don't owe anyone if you're on allergy medicine or you are taking calcium to prevent osteoporosis. Like, you don't, who cares?
Yeah. And it just seems like it's all around though. So it's with weight loss, it's with medical aesthetics. Oh, you must be doing this. Oh, like, oh, I can't believe you do that. You spend money on that. So, people are able to spend money and do what they want to do to better themselves and feel good about themselves. What I probably love most about my job is that I literally spend sometimes people's best days, worst days with them, their in betweens. I watch people transform into feeling like their best selves. Watching somebody go from being like, yeah, here I am, to walking in the door and you can just feel their confidence. It is the most rewarding thing.
Let's go back to aesthetics. So, let's spill the beans. Like, what do you have done?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, girl, let's see. We can talk about all kinds of fun stuff with my face. So we'll go, I guess, from that. I have my own skincare line now, CFC Skincare.
Obsessed. We talked about it last episode or 2 episodes ago.
Love it. So I do use the bamboo cleanser. I use our Pure HA, our vitamin C and E oil, and the apple stem. I mix those together and use that twice a day. We have an under eye retinol, which has some vitamin C in it as well. So that gives like an amazing under eye treatment. And then just at night, I'll use like our Luxe Moisturizer. I don't typically need it during the day, a retinol at night. I use our Sun Kiss Protection sunscreen during the day because I like a little tinted sunscreen. All my clients know I don't go to work every day with makeup. I spend a lot of times, I know I'm in medical aesthetics, but I feel like it's fine to wear a bare face too. So I can glam up, but I do see a majority of my clients many a days with a bare face. That's what I use as far as my skincare. Whether I use Botox, Xeomin, or Jeuveau, those are 3 different toxins. I'll rotate them. Sometimes I stick to one more than other for a little while.
I'm overdue. I'm going to show the camera. I am way overdue.
It is time, girl.
It is. I've never had this much movement because I'm usually on top of that.
Right? Love it. I do my whole face every 3 to 4 months. So I do my forehead, I do my glabellar area, I do my crow's feet in my eyes, I do my jawline, my chin area, my neck. So it really does like prevent your face from aging as far as the pull down. So you need less eventually in the future. So I use a lot of it as preventative. I do my masseters as well because I clench. I always say I hold my stress in my face. I have filler in like my mid face area and like a small amount in the lateral cheek. I do it in this area of the chin. I do my lips. I typically only have to do my lips about once every 18 months or so. I do have PDO threads. So I have a PDO thread lift to the nasolabial fold lift. And I most recently did under eye PDO threads. I've been working on my under eyes for
Obsessed.
4 years, and this is finally like I am happy with them and totally love the new PDO thread under eyes. And as far as like skin maintenance, I do microneedle PRP. I pretty much maintain my skin, as far as resurfacing with that because of using what I use on my face. And I am 37, so I'm not like in either kind of which way. That's partially where I came up with the Fix Your Face Do You Love It. I came up with that on a plane. And part of it is so people get concerned about what do I need? Okay, what's going to be here? And okay, wait, can we do
feel
one more? Yeah, can we do one more syringe or can we do that? What do we need? And I would rather fill your face to where it looks like you and we're not focusing just on an area and you end up with big old cheeks or big old lips or whatever to where you don't look balanced. That way I do an all-inclusive program till we just do it and you don't worry about it. And we just do it, makes it look good because the amount of syringes sometimes terrifies people because they may have had filler and it just like it wasn't necessarily what they thought and they thought it was because it was too much. And a lot of it is more just where are you going to put it,
Especially getting one area done at a time.
Yes.
I've also had the Fix Your Face done by Brittany. She fixed my face
You
to
look
get ready for the
gorgeous.
show. And one of the things that I said was like, I want to look like a Bratz doll. Like I want to give snatched and youthful snatch, but like still a little bit more overdone, like a little fuller than maybe an everyday person would want. And I love that because I didn't feel like judged to say that, number one. Like I know that I wasn't saying like, oh, I don't want people to know I have any filler. Like I wanted my face to be like pulled back so I could be like, no, I got freaking PDO threads and she snatched me up. I'm obsessed. One last question before we get to rapid fire. This is what I've been like waiting and dying for everyone to know about. It's all things PDO threads,
Okay.
which is definitely something that I would say you are an actual expert at. And that's not just from my opinion. You have literally, taught classes to nationally, on PDO threads. People come from all over to see you for it. But it's kind of a controversial procedure. What do you feel like people get wrong about PDO thread?
With PDO threads, there's some controversy sometimes with plastic surgeons as far as scar tissue and what have you. So depending on, now most plastic surgeons, or at least that I, collaborate with, mostly are doing like deep plane facelifts, things like that. So we're not even really in the same plane, is one thing. There's also some surgeons who do PDO threads and some who do not. When I spoke at the conference a few weeks ago in Las Vegas, I followed a plastic surgeon talking about all the threads he does. So there's just a lot of controversy of whether they like them, whether they don't. In certain areas, you don't have to be super qualified to be able to do them. So there are some issues that can arise when they're not done appropriately.
Okay, so my nasolabial folds, as you know, were my like big facial insecurity. I literally, no matter if I was, thinner, thicker, no matter what, I've had them like since I became like a mom at 17. Okay, like they've just always been very pronounced. And when I came to you about that, like I was, on the contrary, I didn't even want all the way pulled where you didn't see anything and it just looked like a child or anything,
Yeah,
you know what I
yeah.
mean? Or a big circle face. But like I needed that to be snatched. I needed that fixed so bad. And that PDO threads was that answer for me.
Yeah.
For sure. Like that I can see such a big difference and I can't thank you enough because
I love that.
dealing with that has been an amazing process for me. I am so team PDO threads. I do know and see that a lot of people have not had the best experience. And I do think it's super important that it's one of those things that like I would have traveled for you because I know you're an expert at it. Like,
I
it is
appreciate that.
really good. So you are incredible.
Well, you know, Victoria, to speak on that, like everybody's face is different too. So, like your nasolabial folds are there for a different reason than maybe somebody else's are. Somebody may have got like lost and gained weight and what have you. So it's one way. Some people have higher cheekbones. So if you do pedio threads in a certain way, in a certain direction, like a lot of times people are doing it in the traditional way, and then they end up with this big kinked area and they're seeing it. And you'll see a lot of write-ups about that online. So for somebody like that, they need reverse threads that are put into the scalp. So they're pulling the area, but they're not necessarily going over your musculature. You smile, you're happy-go-lucky, you do a lot with your face. That would have been a terrible way for you. Your healing process would have been horrible. You would have
Right.
hated threads. You would have, just not had a good experience. So I think looking at your patients' faces and evaluating them and seeing what the best course of action is important. And that takes time.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love all things pedio thread. Okay, let's get to our rapid fire question. Is the medical aesthetics industry as catty as everyone says it is?
Not if you stay in your own lane, play in your own sandbox.
What's the impact that you want to make that goes beyond just fixing people's faces?
I want people to realize that you can do what I'm doing. You can have a business. You can inject people. You can make people feel wonderful and still be just as good of a mom at home. You can have it both ways. You don't have to pick your business or your kids. That is always my takeaway for everything.
Obsessed. What's a service that you offer that people don't really talk about, but that you want to give a shout out to?
So I would say for sure the fix your face, it's definitely coming around more, but people are like, wait, I'm a candidate. And like they just don't realize we can certainly do it in multiple different ways. And I would say, like microneedling and PRP, you can never resurface your skin to make everything else looks 20 times better when you have beautiful resurfaced skin. And people wonder why this one looks like this and this one looks like this with their Botox and their fillers, but it makes all of it look much better.
Okay. And what do you think the next big trend in the medical aesthetics world is?
Medical weight loss and just weight loss in general, it's a big thing right now. So I think skin laxity has been the biggest topic. And that's why we started with our T shape too. And it's been rocking. Everybody's loving it. We're getting beautiful results. So for face,
And
neck,
just
and
real
body.
quick, what is that machine? Because I think it is the coolest thing. I haven't gotten to
awesome.
use it yet,
Yeah.
but it is super cool.
So it's got 4 different modalities. It's got a low level laser. It's got radio frequency for skin tightening. It is suction, and it also has a massage basically that helps with lymphatic drainage. So we're even doing some awesome things with people with like lymphedema, and so they're having clogged up lymph, and it's just like helping with the drainage there helps with it, but also even doing that after we're doing just like body areas with the lymphatic massage, it makes a huge difference. People are getting the results they're looking for with something that is literally painless. It feels like a hot stone massage, and people love it.
Obsessed. Okay, rate my face 1 through 10.
Your face?
Yeah.
Girl, you're a dime.
All right, last question. Are you all caught up on all the episodes of Dear Everyone?
Almost, but I've got to finish watching your 16 and Pregnant because I was very excited about that, and I'm at minute 17, and we're gonna get it done.
Awesome. Okay, well, if you could look into the camera and go ahead and say Dear Everyone and whatever message you want to leave with the world.
Dear everyone, don't be afraid to be your best self. Don't worry about what other people think about you. And like I said, my tidbit is always if you're ready to do something and do something on your own, go for it. Be a business owner. Do what you want to do. Reach for the stars because you can still be both. You can still be the mom you want to be. You can still have your business. And you can have it all without sacrificing either way. I feel like on like certain things like Shark Tank and stuff like that, moms get beat up. So I feel like I have to say that every time because I feel like it's so important. You don't have to miss anything for your kids and you can still be successful.
Love it. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you.
If you loved this, you're really going to love the stuff that we didn't air. Uncut convos, spicy extras, my thoughts after the mic drops, all waiting for you over on our Patreon at patreon.com/VSoSpicy. It's where the secrets live. See you inside.